Hi everyone, James here from F9 Audio and the Freemasons, and welcome to iFunk, our exceptional collection of disco and funk guitars. All versions of this royalty-free sample pack come with WAV and Rex files. The deluxe editions add a Kontakt 5.52 onwards library, whilst full DAW support is also provided for Logic 9 and X, Ableton Live 9.5 onwards, and Studio One version 3.2 onwards. Hopefully by now you've already had a chance to check out the audio demos, but let me show you this pack in action. Now, I wanted to show you two things there. First of all, that when you're using the Kontakt instruments, everything will actually tempo synchronize. So when you've put parts in via MIDI using the sound menus from Kontakt, it will track to any tempo changes. We've gone here from 120 to 110. Now, the second thing I wanted to show you is just how little work these sounds will actually take to fit in your production. You can see here tiny bits of balancing EQ, but it's a few dBs here or there just to poke a few tones out. And we've worked tirelessly to make sure that this entire pack is as drag and drop as possible. Now, I'm perfectly happy to admit that this is probably the most self-indulgent pack so far on F9. I love funk and disco guitars. A lot of my previous work has been covered with them, and it amazes me how all the little bits can fit together and just make your feet itch. And it's something that cannot be replicated on synths or keyboards of any kind because of the absolute individuality of every note that is struck from a great guitar player. Now, Rob and I had one design ethic from this right from the word go, that these just are simply designed to fit in modern productions. What I found in the past is an awful lot of libraries are either over-affected, badly recorded, or either impossibly bright or far too much bass in them. These have all been carefully pre-processed so that when you drop them in, they will sound like the records that we know and love from the disco era. Now, if you don't have Kontakt, don't worry, because all of the menu patches that we're using here are also available in the respective built-in soft sampler patches, here on the ESX24 for Logic. And we've also included some channel strip settings so you can get these kind of sounds. Okay, so now let's have a look at this library inside of Ableton, and I've got a series of drum stems here that come from our now famous Drum Tracks products. This is from Volume 1 Future Classics. They sound like this. Okay, so now let's start adding some guitar parts. I'm already in the library in the browser here. We're going to twirl down the WAV loops, and this folder's already open, 118 BPM F minor. Now, we're at 120 with this, but if you notice next to the file names here, there's a little tick on the icon. That means it's already been analyzed, and there is a .asd file next to it in the filing system. And it's already been pre-warped, and we should just be able to drag this straight onto the page and make it bar lock, even though it's not at this tempo of 120. So I just dropped 4 loops on there pretty much on the fly, and you can hear already it's starting to sound like the beginnings of a great idea. Now, Live is obviously famous for its racking system, and we've included 3 processing racks here specifically for guitar parts. One to deal with ambiances and delays, another to deal with modulation processes, and another one to deal with the actual sonics. So now let's quickly tweak the Spaces rack and see what we can get out of it. Now, please bear in mind I'm on a very high resolution screen and I've got screen capture running in the background, so the computer is complaining a little bit. If you hear any glitching, that's why. So that's already starting to bed into the track, as you can hear, and we've not even applied a single bit of EQ or compression yet. Now, thanks to the improved Simpler plugin that was added on Live 9.5 onwards, we can actually build tempo synchronous drum racks containing all of the content. And we can play them in, even though this particular patch was recorded at 118, I can play them in at the actual project's tempo, in this case 120. Across all of the soft sampler patches in all of the different formats for the DAWs, we've split the menu patches up into 2 types. One that contains the rhythmic material and the other that contains chopped up versions of all of the solos. So let's just hear that back, and I'm going to quantize it quickly and stick an auto filter on it. We may as well go classic disco house whilst we're here. Let's have a listen to how it sounds. So let's have a quick look at the pack in Studio One. But before we do, I just want to say that we've been very careful not to over-process these sounds. So there's still plenty of room for you to stick your own sonic signature on there. And a lot of the guitar reamping effects will really work. For example, here I've got opened up Studio One's Amplifier. And within Studio One, the entire content has actually been converted into the Studio One native audio loop format. So once again, if you have your track set in time stretch mode, as we have done here, I can change the tempo of the project and the guitars will lock. And like the other DAWs, the content has been set up in a series of menu patches here for Presence XT. Now, whilst we're here, there's just one thing I want to say about the 2 different menu types. The solo patches, as you hear, have been chopped to specific notes within parts of the solo. The rhythm menus are slightly different. All you've got to do is hit them on the downbeat and they are triggering an actual bar. Now, we've set it up like this to make it nice and easy so that when you're in your piano roll, you can actually move your triggered notes just up and down to audition different actual rhythmical parts. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief walkthrough of iFunk from F9. It's a library that I know I'm going to be coming back to for years to come, and I hope to get some great enjoyment out of it. If you do make something fantastic with it, please do let us know. Keep in touch on social media or just email us. We're always at info@f9-audio.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.